If someone wants to join your team, how can he?
So to join our team, most of the time you have to be a part of Politecnico di Milano University, because usually we look for very technical profiles. But actually, anybody from Politecnico can join, as Nico said, from first year to the last year of masters and first year of bachelor, of course. And we don't have an ideal candidate. It depends on the different departments. I can speak, for example, for the Department of Logistics, and there we look for somebody who has problem-solving skills, critical thinking, is able to work in team, and those are skills that we also look for in other parts of the team. But for example, we will not require the same knowledge from somebody who goes into the electronics department and somebody who goes into the aerodynamics department, for example. We do have the possibility to join our team by being an external collaborator, but that is mostly reserved for ex-students or students from other universities. For example, we have a designer that is in our team, but he is from the University of Florence. And he works with us and helps us with some designer things.
Which skills can someone learn in your team?
So there are many skills you can learn from our team and joining our team. It depends from what kind of department you would like to join. For example, at the start I was a recovery guy, so I learned how to sew parachutes. Or maybe if you join the structure department, you learn how to work with the tools, mechanical tools, and things like that. Also, you start to work with the composites, and we have a kind of a collaboration with the partner that is the Persico company that produces Luna Rossa boats and is famous for this. And we send our structure team every year to work with them and to make our parts that are done in composites. Also, if you are a part of a electronics team, you start to solder components and to make your own parts and make your own full projects.
Can someone learn about problem solving and fast prototyping?
As for problem solving, yes. What I usually say is that in this association, there are problems being born everywhere. Like every time you think you've solved something, there is actually two other problems coming out of it. Like the Hydra head, no, that you cut one and two come out of it. So yeah, it's a skill that can be learned. Of course, the thing that you have to have is and I think that Politecnico is very good at this, you have to have a certain mindset that allows you to be able to view everything and analyze everything deeply before going into problem solving. And also, most of problem solving is done by making mistakes. So you think you've solved a problem you didn't. Well, most mistakes are repairable. I think that's the word. So this is not a job environment where if you do something very, very wrong, well, there are some things that can't go wrong, but if you have the right theoretical basis behind that, you shouldn't do that wrong. If you do some mistakes, it's fine. We're all students, we're all learning. Yeah, the environment where you work, that allows you to learn problem solving.
And what about teamwork and cooperation?
Really a huge field of things to say. We need teamwork and we need people to cooperate. And the classic fun stories are of some grumpy guys always being not fun, not happy to work with some other guys, and they always want to say I'm right, you're wrong, and things like that. And usually when you start working with Skyward, you lose this kind of thing because there's a big amount of people with you, and you have to be as keen as possible at being a good team member and to help your fellow students and fellow workers.
Could someone join to an online design review?
We are starting to inviting more and more people at our design reviews. We've had Pyxis Rocket design review in December, and we are going to have a preliminary design review about the new rocket in, I think, about October, just after EuRoC. And also we are going to have maybe in August a preliminary design review about our motor. So I think you could join. And we are starting to invite sponsors, partners, and people from Politecnico, former members. So we're starting to make it wider and wider.
How are you organized?
We have a matrix structure. We have a directive council that's made of president, vice president, secretary, treasury, and then all of the heads of departments. And the departments are aerodynamics, structures and propulsion, electronics and software, recovery, and media and logistics. So each one of these departments has a head of department, and they are responsible for the team on an administrative level. And then every department is structured into teams, and we have what we call IPT, Integrated Project Team. And each team has a leader, and the leader reports directly to the project manager during the technical reunion, RT. And every team is responsible for a certain part of the rocket.
How do you manage your team, and how do you handle remote members if you have them?
The part of remote members was the biggest in Skyward last year, and we had many problems with this. Ask people to come sometimes and have a hands-on work moments. When we talk about team managing, to tell the truth, we use a ClickUp app, and it's just a task application where you can show to people what the task they have, what kind of time they have to respect. And it is something that is really useful in order to see what everyone has, what every department have to do, and what they have to realize. Especially from my point of view, the biggest problem is always time. If you want to join EuRoC each year and participate at EuRoC, you have to work really hard. And it's a very big problem in terms of time, because you have to take parts from partners or people that sell you other things, and you have to respect these times, and the workflow is very complicated.
Is critical thinking important in your team?
Definitely, yes. It's very important, and again, I think it's something that you can develop once you're exposed to it. But it is something that we look for when we look for members, for potential future members. As I said, it's very important to be able to analyze thoroughly and question yourself. And that's the reason why we do so many reviews, because every time we think that we have a solution to a problem, again, we have to question it. We have to say, what if there is another better option? What if this one is it's not correct? What if there's something that we're missing? And that's why, even though decisions are made by some responsibles, everyone in the team is allowed to chime in and say what they think is wrong during, for example, these reviews. Because it's important. Sometimes when you work on a project, you can get very narrow-minded and think that that one is the only way to do it. Because you're very concentrated you're very focused on what you're doing. And it's important to have critical thinking from outside and have everybody give their opinion. as long as it's on a very, very technical theoretical base.
Do you play and like a Kerbal Space program?
Myself, not. I have never played it with a KSP, but I have many colleagues that still play with KSP because they love to see many problems with different views. And for some of them, it's also useful with university because they maybe if they do space transfers or things like that at space engineering, it's quite a good way of thinking using KSP just to make it easier and understand what things could happen. And I've seen you also do videos about KSP, Minecraft, and things like that. So if you want to talk us about this.
Yes, I made videos on Minecraft. I don't really play Minecraft anymore. Kerbal, I think it's useful. I've heard that some other teams, like everyone plays Kerbal. And some of them, if I remember correct, like when they recruit, they ask you to do something in Kerbal. One thing I will warn if you want to do some recruiting with Kerbal, Kraken drives exist. They're practically bugs, which do not work in real life. So you can make they're like magic, kind of.
Yes, some of my colleagues showed me a pair of them, in order to do very huge rockets that go super fast and things like that. And they love to do this kind of things because they always try also to make to crack it a bit in order to make things that are over the physics.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for the suggestion of using Kerbal to do recruitment, because it's sometimes it's difficult to find people that are not so focused on the technical part, and to be part of the team you have to have creativity, flexibility. I think that maybe this kind of games, let's call it like that, are an awesome opportunity to see if somebody does have those things.